What up? Welcome back to What's Up Wednesday with B-Boy. It's snowing. I didn't bring any gloves, so my recording hand's gonna get cold. So I'll be swapping hands back and forth a couple times probably. What is up? Let's see. Last week I kind of breezed through a trip to Alaska. Mostly talked about kelp farming and not so much music. But I did some music work on that trip too, which I'd love to share. And then looking at beats. I'm always looking at beats because that's the thing that takes the most time for me with music making. So I'll talk about that a little bit. And then also I forgot I scheduled second video release of the Dragon Smog. I uploaded a black and white version and a color version so that whole video was like hand sketched. I sketched out a sketchbook and drew every page and all that, and I was pretty nervous going into it with the colored pencils. I was like, dude, I need to film this whole thing in black and white first, just in case I totally butcher the colorings and can't go back. So I had a black and white version and a colored version. And then I scheduled them to release a week apart. But I completely forgot about the second release, and so I did no promotion for that, honestly. And so I surprised myself yesterday when I popped onto my YouTube channel and saw that was out. And it's got like 40 views, which is cool. I think that means that this YouTube stuff is kind of working, because those 40 views are just YouTube choosing to show me to people. So that's pretty neat. That felt good. Yeah. Also, that's what's nice about scheduling videos ahead of time, is you can do it when you're thinking about it and not really have to worry about it after that. Instagram's post-scheduling stuff, though, is freaking garbage. I mean, if you're like logging into the Instagram app and scheduling stuff, it works okay. I've had some success with that. But, man, Instagram is or Facebook, I guess, Meta is trying to do like a business suite app where you can manage all your Meta socials from one website, where you can like upload your posts and schedule them and all this. And that website is complete garbage. I went through and like by hand uploaded, captioned some 20 plus videos, and then picked a date for all of them to schedule, and literally none of them ever posted. They all just vanished into the ether. So that sucks. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours of work wasted. So yeah, I just haven't been posting on Instagram. My wife works in marketing for her real estate team, and they got their YouTube channel off the ground. Really, they were undergoing an effort to get their social medias off the ground, and my wife kind of led that charge, and she found that Instagram really didn't perform well anyway. They posted to Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and they got regular views on YouTube Shorts like crazy, but then on Instagram and TikTok, just nothing. So I'm kind of taking that advice. That has also kind of matched my experience posting reels and shorts. I tried to post TikToks a couple times, but yeah, just no traction at all. So ignoring those, just gonna do shorts and then reels sometimes. And I'll treat my Instagram page basically as a proper like billboard. When I actually want to post something is kind of how I'm thinking. But Instagram's so weird because it just shows you like random garbage and not actually the people that you follow anymore. Remember back when it was just friends? That was kind of cool, right? You'd just see what your friends were posting. It was neat. No more. Now you never see what your friends are posting. And so I'm gonna keep treating it as though that's where I post for my friends to see, and whatever. It'll be what it is. Not gonna worry about it too much. Anyways, so YouTube, yep, that was great, scheduled stuff. Let's talk about the music work I did on my Alaska trip. One thing I tend to struggle with is writing choruses. I can crank out a verse in no time, to the point where usually what I'll end up doing for a song is, once I've got the chorus and the instrumental set up, I will sit down and write multiple verses for it and then pick my favorite, because just writing a verse comes pretty easily to me. But writing a chorus takes me forever. That's just not where my brain lands. So I wanted to practice some of that. This is going to be the second or third week in a row I talk about Connor Price and Nick D, but they're helpful as like case studies because, one, they kind of talk about their processes in their songs, and two, they like literally published a podcast talking about their processes beyond that, and three, you can kind of watch all their processes take place on Instagram and TikTok and all the places. They're very public about what they're doing, and because they're posting regularly, they stay top of mind. So that's the trick to that. But some of their songs have fantastic hooks. The one that caught my ear right before this Alaska trip was Caveman, where Nick D goes, "Make fire, I'm a caveman," or "All I do is make fire, I'm a caveman." And it's just, I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant for a couple reasons. One, it's like dummy simple, like a 4-year-old could sing along with that. You know, there's no big words. It's a very short sentence even. Like anybody can sing along with this hook. I think make fire, I'm a caveman, 5 words. Yeah, great, nice job. Literally caveman speak. It's about a caveman, so that's cool. It's a reference anybody can understand, even at like 4 years old, you know. So that's cool. And it's a clever play on a modern phrase that's like in the zeitgeist, you know. So, make fire, right? Oh, that's fire, you know. People are saying that, so Nick D was like, how can I play on fire? Oh yeah, I make fire. I'm a caveman. Sold. Knowing Nick D and Connor Price, they also tend to build their hooks around video makeability. I mentioned that Nick D challenged himself for a whole year to crank out a new song with a music video every 2 weeks for a year. And I think that really baked into his brain, like, I need to have the plan for the music video right when I start writing the lyrics for this song. You know, he's not writing a song and then seeing like, oh, can I make a music video for this? So I think with the Caveman video, it's just like, all right, let's like dress up in some furs or whatever from the Goodwill. And then I got like, we can bonk each other on the head with some clubs. That'll be their Caveman music video, you know. I haven't actually watched it, but I assume that's kind of the direction. Anyways, so I was looking at that and thinking, all right, let's see if I can just practice writing some hooks in this direction. And so I had some long flights on the way to Alaska, and so I just sat down with a notebook and started by writing down like, all right, what are some just words that describe things that are cool? Like, oh, that's tight, oh, that's chill, that's hype, you know, like take some words like that, some common phrases. and just brainstorm a whole bunch of those first, and then I can start picking out a couple and be like, all right, can I come up with like a clever play on words with this that results in a nice punchline that could be a hook. There's something else too that Nick D did in his Caveman chorus that I admire a lot, that I wanted to touch on. After the Caveman line, so after he's got you hooked with this fantastic hook, he goes in and starts actually talking about his own kind of philosophies. I don't know that it's like super vulnerable or that it's super legit about his philosophies, but it sounds personal, it's believable, and I think that is really valuable as well. Kind of giving you a sense that he's welcoming you into his life. You know, he's not just BSing you with some, I don't know. You hear a lot of rap that's just like, I'm the best guy, you know, and honestly, a lot of their music is like that. But I think when you can sprinkle a few lines in here and there about, like, here's my actual philosophies on life, here's something that's personal to me, like I'm letting you in on me a little bit, then it makes the song more personal, more interesting, and makes it feel like you're getting to know the guy a little better instead of just listening to a song. And then I think that's more likely to make you a fan. So what he says after the initial hook is, never thought the ball got great hands. When I was younger, it was get rich or die trying. Now I'm grown, still rolling with the same plans. I had other plans I made too. Not one of them was struggle or just make it do. Never satisfied, I'm still the same dude. So when I make my first million, had to make two. So first of all, it does still sound baller. But then secondly, it's kind of like letting you into his brain a little bit, and feels a little more personal than just some random braggadocious rap. And so that's something that, that's a pitfall I can fall into too, is just writing some random braggadocious rap. Man, the snow is really picking up, I'll tell you. And so trying to sprinkle in some more personal stuff in between too. And so that was a fun exercise on the way to Alaska. I ended up coming back with like, I didn't count, but I'd guess like 20 hooks, 20 potential choruses. I think there's maybe like 2 that I think could be really good, and the rest are like, okay. But you know, for somebody who always struggles to write a chorus, that feels really good to have banged those out, and to now have a library of, maybe they're not the best choruses ever, but if I'm ever just like writing a song, sometimes I'll just kind of write what I think of as like a throwaway song, where I'm just like, I just genuinely enjoy writing songs. I just want to sit down and like write a song. I'm not going to worry about how good it is. And to be able to pull a chorus out of this box for that and be like, all right, let's pick one of the ones that I don't know if I'm ever going to use otherwise, and just slap that together into a song and see what happens. And honestly, those songs, the throwaway songs, usually end up being some of the best songs. Like Tifted and Gallanted off of Turmeric was one of those. I don't know that Bozo was, but like that's kind of the vibe of the throwaway songs, where I just sit down and start rapping about nonsense. And I don't know, those end up being some of the most fun songs I write. Anyways, those are those 2 topics. This video is getting a little long, but I will cover the last thing. The other thing I always struggle with writing in my songs is the instrumental. You can crank out a verse, but yeah, coming up with an instrumental takes me forever if I'm writing it myself. I've got a friend, Moss, who makes me instrumentals sometimes. He's a fantastic DJ. He produces very well. His songs always, his instrumentals always sound super polished. And so he'll make me a beat or 2 sometimes. And for that, I'm very grateful. Thank you, Moss. And that's nice. And then I've acquired some beats here and there off of the internet. And so sometimes I'll rap over those. But a lot of the time, I'll end up trying to produce my own beats. And that takes me forever. And so I'm still always looking for ways to streamline that. I think I want eventually, I mentioned Freestyle Friday last week, that I want eventually to actually like make the beats that I'm going to use for Freestyle Friday before Freestyle Friday starts. I wanted to kind of get my legs under me with Freestyle Friday first, you know, and I still feel like I just don't have time to make a whole slew of beats for freestyling over for Freestyle Friday, but we'll see if I can start moving in that direction. I made one of the beats for it last week, and that was cool, and actually I really like that beat, so maybe I'll make a song out of it. But what I was gonna say is I'm gonna look back into BeatStars.com, see if I can start filtering those better. Sometimes there's really cool beats on there for like $1 or $2, and I think you just get an MP3 with it, so it's probably the lowest quality possible audio file and like a mixing experience, but same kind of vibe. If I just want to make like a quick song and bang something out and have fun with it, then that's a fantastic option. Take a whole lot of the pain and legwork out of making a whole song and just, you know, be able to get my hands on something real quick. So started digging through those. I figured out BeatStars has a fantastic filtering system. You can filter for beats per minute and key of your song. You can filter for the mood you want and the price range. And when I actually started playing with those, I've always just like searched a term like, all right, give me a beat with violins, you know, and it'll give me 4,000 beats that match the term violins. Usually just a song that is called violins, whether or not it actually has violins in it, but like the beat maker just decided to call their beat violins, and so it's got that in it. But I've always been a little frustrated with that search process because I just get a lot of the beats on there are the very like chill hip hop vibes, which I get, but that's not the beats I usually prefer rapping over. And so I prefer the high energy stuff. But was playing around with those mood filters the other day, and that actually got me way closer to beats that I actually think I would enjoy rapping over. So that's cool. I'm gonna play around with that a little more and see if I can't find some stuff. Unfortunately, I spent all of my allowance for the month of May in Alaska before May even started, so I have no allowance this month to buy even any $1 beats, but soon. All right, I think that's all. Thanks for tuning in to What's Up Wednesday. I'm B-Boyd. I'm gonna go brush this snow out of my hair. It's gonna be great. See ya.